The president of Stockton University, Dr. Harvey Councilman, discusses the university's expansion plans into Atlantic City and their main campus. We welcome the New Jersey Deputy Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development, Dr. Aaron Figner, and the important work of the commission to help job seekers and employers. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. As a member of Stockton's first graduating class, Dr. Harvey Councilman can attest to the impact the university has had over the years all over South Jersey and helping to shape Southern New Jersey. I'm very pleased to have Dr. Councilman here today to discuss the latest plans at the university. Welcome to Latino Motion.
Pleasure to be here and good to see you again, Bert.
And me and you go way back when I was a student here,
Yes.
And obviously you've had a very long career, not only graduating here for the first class, but you've worked for the university for quite some time. Tell me about the transition and the various roles you had to becoming president.
A great question. I began, as you said, as a student in the very first class. My first position was a tutor in the EOF program, ultimately became the director of the EOF program, and then institutional research, wound up the vice president for student affairs, the dean of the School of Education, the interim vice president of administration and finance, and then for the last 6 years before becoming president, about a year ago, I was the provost and executive vice president. So each of the roles that I had, I've been fortunate to be a part of the growth of the institution, and more importantly, I've had the great pleasure of changing many, many positions at the same university, but the university is no longer that small little college in the middle of the pines.
It certainly has changed, even from the days when I used to come here. A lot of significant buildings that are taking place. Tell me a little bit about the growth that has taken place, and then we're going to get into some of the future growth.
Well, that's great. We have the largest physical campus in New Jersey. It's just under 2,000 acres. We now have, I remember when there was just one building on this campus, we now have 78 buildings, almost 2 million square feet of buildings.
Wow.
We have 3,000 students who reside on the campus, and another 220 at the Seaview, and we had to rent out hotels along the White Horse Pike. We're just under 9,000 students. That first class, we had 1,000 students, 500 transfers, 500 freshmen, and we should hit just about 9,000 this fall. So there's been 45 consecutive years of growth at Stockton, and more is to come.
And obviously, it all really started as a small college with just limited amount of programs. And how many programs you offer now?
Oh, we went from 24, I think we were founded, we had 20 to 24 academic programs, and probably if you count all of our certificate programs, probably over 80 or 90 academic programs now that we have all the way through doctoral degrees, which is why, we are now a university, and we began as, a small public college, and but one that was always intended to grow.
One of the funny things is that it used to be fairly easy to get into this college. And now I have people, I can't get into Stockton. Yeah, so tell me a little bit how that has changed.
I probably couldn't get into Stockton now when I get, well, we're attractive, and we thousands, almost 6,000 applications every fall term. We can only bring in 1,000 first-time freshmen each year, so we've become more selective, although we are, deeply committed to ensuring that our student body represents the population of the state of New Jersey. So we don't just look at test scores, we look at all aspects of student applicants as we begin to build our freshman and transfer classes.
And I know you also have special outreach to the minority community.
Oh,
Tell me a little bit
absolutely.
about that.
We have one of the most robust. It was originally called Latino Visitation Day. It's now called Latino/Diversity Visitation Day. But it usually occurs in November. We invite about 550 to 600 high school seniors from predominantly minority areas to spend a full day at Stockton going through almost a mock collegiate day. Those who wish to apply to Stockton, we actually waive their application fee if they apply that day. It has grown, it certainly didn't start at 550. Heather Medina, who is one of our, terrific employees at Stockton.
I had her on my show at one point.
Great. And Heather is one of our admissions counselors. That was her idea years ago, and it's grown into a tremendous program. And of course, Nelson Morales, who also is in our admissions program, is deeply committed to the same ideals.
So certainly a lot of growth, and there's plan for more. We all saw in the news what happened in Atlantic City with the showboat. Mm-hmm. That's no longer on the table. What is on the table? Well,
we were able to successfully sell the showboat actually around January 15th of this year. And now we're going to launch a major branch campus in what's called the Chelsea section of Atlantic City off of Albany Avenue. There'll be a 56,000 square foot brand new academic building overlooking O'Donnell Park, residence hall on the boardwalk that will house 522 students. And then right across the street from that will be a combination parking garage with South Jersey Industry Administrative Headquarters on the top 4 floors.
Well, I do speak for all of the staff here, myself. We're looking forward to a nice HD studio there by the beach as well.
You know what? And there has been terrific interest in having a bureau, an NJTV bureau, and having a studio there. I think that would be great. We're looking at other spots around that campus because we believe that's going to be a vibrant part of the academic experience of all Stockton students.
Now, I know this is a significant change from what was proposed with the showboat.
Correct.
It's going to take more time to get there and a lot more cost. Tell me a little bit about
Well,
that.
it's going to take a lot more cost. But it's the largest public-private partnership in the history of New Jersey, meaning the following. We have been able to get the state through NJEDA to provide bonding, tax credits for the project. We have the Atlantic County Improvement Authority is going to bond the project. We have CRDA funds. We have some of the funds from the proceeds of Showboat to go towards the project. We have South Jersey Industries contributing. So it's a patchwork of about $220 million, of which Stockton only is putting in cash $18 million, of which...
So still, that was the original plan, right?
That was the original plan. The Showboat was $18 million. We were able to sell Showboat for $23 million, and that $18 million will go towards that academic building. So as was our promise, we are committed to Atlantic City because we believe in the city.
Well, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We continue our discussion with Dr. Castleman, president of Stockton University, as we discuss future plans of the university. And we just talked about the great plans that are taking place and taking shape in Atlantic City over at the Chelsea area. Now, when is the breaking of the ground going to take place?
We're hoping the breaking of the ground takes place in late June, early July.
Great.
There has begun, some site work has already begun at the Chelsea area, and we hope to launch it and have a big fanfare associated with it. We're really excited. We know that the communities are excited because we've met many of the people. The city's been incredibly supportive. Sound Council, the governor, Senator Sweeney. We could not get more support than what we have.
And this is a big shot in the arm for Atlantic City. They've been hoping for this kind of development to take place and really build up Atlantic City. Going into the future, certainly this will be just exactly what Atlantic City is looking to do.
Well, we're one of what we're called an anchor institution. I think any city that goes through a renaissance like this always needs a higher education partner. we are it for Atlantic City. Also, Atlanticare also has very good plans. One of the things that we're already beginning to draw is South Jersey South Jersey Gas was in Atlantic City. Now it's coming back. So what we'll be able to do, we hope, is to bring back some of the entities that had, left for other areas, and also have new funds invested around us. We believe that we have a responsibility to be an economic engine to this region.
Atlantic City is not the only focus. You also have construction going here on the campus. Tell me a little bit about that.
A number of projects, but two major projects. We're going to add a second science building. I don't know if folks realize, but Stockton produces 22% of the math science graduates of the senior public colleges. So we will have two science buildings, and then we're going to add a health sciences building, which will create an academic quad, not unlike the University of Virginia coming in on Vera King Ferris Drive. So we have not at all in any way, shape, or form forgotten the mothership. Galloway is the main campus. We love what we're going to be doing in Atlantic City, but we are not neglecting Galloway in any way, shape, or form.
And how will these be funded? The same similar fashion?
Actually, these are funded through GO bonds that were approved by the voters of New Jersey 2 years ago. Wow. 75% of the money is from the state, 25% from us. And we've already set that money aside a couple of years ago. So we're ready.
So have you checked off that box when you voted 2 years ago?
Thank you. We are immensely grateful to that. More importantly, our students, who are also New Jersey citizens, are grateful for that, because now they're going to get first-rate science labs, health science labs, and the like, and will hopefully keep more New Jersey students in state, so we don't have so many leaving to get their educations elsewhere.
That is a big issue. It is a big gap. We do lose a lot of students out of the state. Once they get their education elsewhere, many of them don't come back.
Absolutely. In fact, New Jersey exports more students than any other state in the United States, and in fact, each year, about 100,000 students leave their home state to get college educations elsewhere. 30,000 of them are New Jersey students. So we need to keep more New Jersey students here, because the brain drain could be really detrimental to the long-term health and vitality of the New Jersey economy.
I know there's two issues that you always keep your eyes on. One is getting more minority students to go to higher education. Tell me about some of the initiatives you have in place.
Well, we have so many programs. I mentioned earlier about the Latino Visitation Day, but that's only one of many. We have leadership programs for students who have done well in their high schools. One of the things that we all have to be mindful of, the demographics of this state and the demographics of this nation have changed dramatically. We need to ensure that every single student who wishes to acquire a higher education has the opportunity to do so. And we're going to do everything within our mission and our power to make sure that happens at Stockton. And not just get in the door. Access is one thing. True opportunity is another thing. So we not only try to admit students just to say, well, we've admitted more, we want to graduate more. And there's
that's something that should be proud of, because the achievement gap sometimes tend to be pretty great between the minority students and non-minority students in terms of them being able to complete their college education. And your gap is not that big.
Our gap is not that big. There is a gap, but it's like 6 or 7% difference in graduation rates. So when you're talking 65 to 73, 74%, we want no gap. Our goal is no gap. But we're doing everything we can to ensure that all students who come to Stockton feel comfortable, have enough support, that no matter white, irrespective of ethnicity, but if in fact they did not have the appropriate academic preparation coming in, that we provide the support services necessary for them to succeed.
Now, I know I probably should have covered this at the beginning, but what's the difference between Stockton College and now Stockton University?
Well, actually, truthfully, as we grew up, very little. In fact, in order to become a university, you have to demonstrate that you've already met all the criteria for 5 years. So for us, it was just preparing all the appropriate paperwork, which was not insignificant. But we knew going in we were going to become a university because we had met all the criteria. So, we've grown. We have graduate programs, doctoral programs. We have 1,200 graduate students, 15 graduate programs. So we are in the university in every way, shape, or form.
Well, Dr. Castleman, thank you for sharing all this information with us, and hope to have you back here soon.
Love to be back.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with my next guest right here on Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. Overseeing New Jersey Department of Labor Workforce Development's program areas is Dr. Erin Fichtner, who leads the department's efforts to develop a strategic vision and direction for workforce and talent development in New Jersey. Dr. Fichtner, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
You come a long way up from North Jersey to be down here in South Jersey. We really appreciate that. And certainly you have a very important job and very important role in terms of labor and workforce development here in New Jersey. But New Jersey struggled over a period of time here with jobs. Tell me how we've managed to wiggle down the unemployment rate, if you will.
Well, thank you. It's a great point. I mean, obviously, like all states across the country, we had a difficult time during the recession. We lost 250,000 private sector jobs. The good news to report is that we've recovered all of those lost jobs. Last year, 2015, was the best year for private sector job creation in New Jersey since 1999. We created 80,000 jobs. Unemployment rate is now below 5%, so back to pre-recession levels. So we have seen a slow but steady recovery. We're very hopeful for the future, and we work very, very hard to make sure that all of our residents have the skills that they need to contribute to the economy.
Obviously, here in South Jersey, the unemployment rate is a little higher. It's closer to the 7% range or so, and there's been a lot of job loss here in the area. But tell me a little bit about some of the job creation that has taken place. Is this all totally new jobs, or just that the economy has picked up and people are just hiring again?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. There's been great growth in healthcare, for example, all over the state. Healthcare is the only industry that grew during the recession, and it's expected to grow steadily as we have an aging population. But we've seen growth in professional and business services. We've seen some growth in manufacturing and construction. So it's been a steady growth across the board. Obviously, there are big challenges here in Atlantic City with the realignment of the casino industry, and we're working very hard to help people transition to new opportunities in healthcare, in construction, and manufacturing, and that's very important.
We know that as soon as the announcements were made in terms of closing of some of the casinos, the Department of Labor was on site here in Atlantic City helping people who were displaced. What ongoing efforts do you have here in Atlantic City?
Well, thank you for mentioning that. Certainly, as the announcements came in, we mobilized our efforts, make sure that we reached out to any affected individual, make sure they knew about how to get on unemployment insurance, get those very important benefits, but more importantly, to get them prepared to find the next job opportunity. We secured a sizable federal grant. We spent millions of dollars of federal money and state money to help people connect to new opportunities. So we've been working with local employers in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, transportation, to identify the skills where those companies need new workers, and to help transition folks that lost their jobs in the casino to new skills and to new opportunities.
You know, for a very long time, the Labor Department has been seen as the unemployment office. That's where people go when they're unemployed and basically looking to get assistance, and maybe not necessarily the best way to get a job. That has changed over the years. Tell me about that transition.
Yeah, we've made an incredible focus. The most important thing we can do at the Labor Department is help somebody get a job, get the skills, the connections, the abilities that they need to get a new job. And so we've really redoubled our efforts to make sure that all of our training programs and investments are aligned completely with the needs of employers, so that we're training people for jobs that exist, and that we're reaching people more quickly. So we are in contact with people as soon as they become unemployed to help them get connected to programs that will help them get a new job.
A lot of this is done through the work development boards throughout South Jersey. I happen to be lucky enough to chair the Cumberland, Salem, and Cape May now.
Thank you for the work that you do in that capacity. It's very important.
Just give us the little 401 in terms of how that works with the state.
So we have 18 workforce development boards across the state that are private sector led by folks like yourself, who really direct the implementation of services to people who are unemployed or in need of assistance getting a new career. And so those services are delivered at the county level in a partnership between county government and our State Department. But really, the key point is that these are private sector, business-led organizations that guide our investments and our services and our programs.
I know you use a lot of volunteers and certainly a lot of paid professionals that work at the Labor Department. We want to talk a little bit about the role of the Talent Development Network that we've been ahead of the curve, so to speak, ahead of what the federal government has required, but now the federal government is also heading in that direction as well, correct?
That is true. So we knew it's a very complicated labor market. We don't know in government exactly what's going on in healthcare and advanced manufacturing, the skills that they need. So we partnered with higher education, universities and colleges, with industry associations to lead what we call our talent networks. And they go out and interact with employers, bring back information on what the job trends are. But more importantly, they work every day with employers to say, what are your needs? How do we create a program? How do we connect somebody to a job at your company? How do we build those pathways for people so they can get a job and get that career? And that engagement with employers is critically important.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about those talent networks. There's 7 of them in New Jersey. We want to get to those in detail, but we're going to do that at the next show.
Okay.
That's all the time we have. Thank you for sharing this information with us, and thank you for joining us at home. We'll be back with more Latino Motion next week.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.